SAO is terrible, and I'm tired of pretending it's not. Joker is a cinematic masterpiece that makes you think, while SAO is a cringy mess that feels like it was written by a toddler who just discovered video games. We'll break down why Joker is a film that sticks with you long after it ends, while SAO is something you watch, regret, and then try to forget.
I really didn't know what to expect from Joker. The trailers didn't give too much away, and the movie's official synopsis also didn't disclose a lot of information either. After seeing the movie itself though, I can confidently say that Joker is one of, if not the best comic book movie of the year. That's a pretty tough decision to make, since movies like Avengers Endgame, Shazam, and Spider-Man Far From Home also came out this year, and those are all certainly great movies as well. But here's why I think Joker is the best comic book movie of the year. This video will contain spoilers for Joker, so make sure you watch the movie first before watching this video. Anyways, let's get started. The first reason would be that this movie is much more grounded than your typical comic book movie, which makes it a lot more relatable. It feels like something that could actually happen in the real world, which is a nice breath of fresh air. These days, comic book movies are these big budget CGI filled spectacles, and while those kinds of movies are definitely fun and entertaining to watch, it's just science fiction and not something that could ever happen in real life. On the other hand, what happened to Arthur Fleck in this movie could realistically happen to just about anyone, and I really like that about this movie. Anyone could have a couple bad days, lose their mind, and commit a bunch of crimes. Joaquin Phoenix's performance as Arthur Fleck / Joker was also pretty amazing. I can definitely see him getting an Oscar nomination for this role, and perhaps even a win, similar to how Heath Ledger won Best Supporting Actor for his portrayal of Joker in The Dark Knight. Arthur Fleck constantly claims that he's not a bad guy, and he doesn't have any ill intentions. His goal was to bring joy and laughter to the world, but nobody believed in him. Society treated him like garbage, and everybody made fun of him, so eventually Arthur Fleck believes that he is truly the bad guy. You could genuinely understand how someone like Arthur Fleck would end up in that kind of position. And unlike your standard comic book movie, the main character is a villain, not an anti-hero like Deadpool and Venom, but a straight up villain. The Joker is not somebody you're supposed to root for. He kills several people and does a lot of bad things, but you kind of actually side with Arthur Fleck a bunch of times in this movie, and sometimes you even feel pity for him, which goes to show that this movie must have done something right. If it can humanize a psychopath and mass murderer, that's extremely disturbing and unsettling if you think about it. Another thing that I really like about this movie is that it takes risks. This is not a movie that will appeal to everybody. Some people are going to love it and others are going to despise it. It's going to be controversial, and taking a quick look at some of the reviews for this movie confirms that assumption. Moreover, there's not a lot of action in this movie at all. It's a slower paced and low budget character study. There's no noticeable CGI in any of the scenes, and it's not doing what every other comic book movie is doing. It's not even doing what other movies featuring the Joker have done. That's something worth praising since this movie is daring and doesn't play it safe. They could have easily just made this a huge action movie, where the Joker robs banks, holds people hostage, fights Batman and stuff like that, but they didn't, and I really respect that. I mean, you could literally just change the names of the characters and setting, and this wouldn't even really be a comic book movie. Obviously, Joker has a much lower budget than your typical comic book movie, so it wouldn't be able to outdo the action sequences and fight scenes you see in other comic book movies. It's actually pretty smart of them to do something completely different. Warner Brothers knows that they'll never be able to beat the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, so they decided to take a completely different approach. Additionally, this movie's twists and misdirections also fascinated me. It surely kept you guessing all the way until the end. You weren't certain what was real and what wasn't. I'm not even talking about Arthur Fleck's delusions either. The movie overall is quite ambiguous and open-ended. For instance, you still aren't quite sure if Arthur Fleck is actually Thomas Wayne's illegitimate son or not. The photograph at the end undoubtedly throws you off. Maybe Arthur Fleck's mom was telling the truth this entire time, and Thomas Wayne was trying to cover it all up. Or maybe Arthur Fleck's mom wrote the message on the back of the photograph. You'll never know the truth, and I like it when that kind of stuff happens. Oftentimes a movie just straight up tells you the right answer, instead of letting you come to your own conclusions and interpretations. Furthermore, a lot of unexpected things happen in this movie that took me by surprise, which is hard to do because I watch a ton of movies, and I'm usually able to predict what might happen in a comic book movie, but I had no idea how this movie would play out at all. As I stated at the beginning, I didn't know what to expect. For example, it was quite shocking to see Arthur Fleck shoot and kill those 3 guys on the subway, as well as Murray Franklin in the face point blank on live television. There's a lot of violence in the movie, but the movie itself certainly doesn't glorify violence, and it's there for a good reason. The violence is designed to surprise and upset the audience. Every death that occurs in the movie is impactful. Also, while the movie managed to maintain this serious tone throughout, there were a lot of dark comedy moments that I found pretty amusing, like the part where Arthur Fleck kills his former coworker Randall, then lets Gary go, and Gary was too short to reach the apartment door's lock. Lastly, the movie's social commentary is also very relevant in today's culture. The depiction of Joker we saw in this movie is reminiscent of people who commit mass shootings, which I'm sure wasn't a coincidence or mistake. Well, that's it for this video. What did you think of Joker? Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next video.
As you can see, Joker completely blows SAO out of the water. Joker has intense, raw acting. The story is deep, gripping, and thought-provoking, making you question society and yourself. Meanwhile, SAO is a shallow, lifeless anime that thinks flashy sword fights can cover up its empty story. Kirito is a walking cardboard cutout with zero personality, and the plot feels like a bad video game fanfic, where everything is way too convenient and nothing matters. While Joker takes you on a dark, emotional journey through the mind of a broken man, SAO just drags you through an endless loop of repetitive, dull fights and terrible dialogue. The characters in SAO are either painfully forgettable or so cringeworthy. Honestly, SAO is like fast food. It's cheap and leaves you feeling empty inside. Joker, on the other hand, is a cinematic feast that sticks with you long after the credits roll. The difference is night and day. If you want to watch another DC movie, check out Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey is a 2020 American superhero movie. It's based on the DC Comics team Birds of Prey. Furthermore, the movie is the 8th installment in the DC Extended Universe, and a follow-up to 2016 Squad. If you're unsure about the ending, then you definitely came to the right place. In this video, I'll explain the ending of Birds of Prey. This video will contain spoilers for Birds of Prey, so make sure you watch that movie first before watching this video. Anyways, let's get started. So towards the end of the movie, Harley Quinn and the others managed to defeat Black Mask and his gang. Cassandra Cain was able to blow him up with one of Harley's old grenades, which was surprising because I thought with a big name actor like Ewan McGregor playing him, Black Mask was certainly going to appear in some more DCEU movies, but I guess that's not the case. Afterwards, Harley and the others decide to go get some Mexican food, and maybe Cassandra will finally be able to get the diamond out of her system, but Harley and Cassandra end up stealing Black Canary's car, and they part ways with the other three girls. We see that Harley has taken Cassandra as her new apprentice, and the other three girls form the Birds of Prey. Also, Harley pawns the diamond and starts her own company. There's no actual post-credit scene after the movie is over, but there's an audio clip from Harley Quinn, confused as to why people would still be waiting in the audience. She says that she's going to reveal Batman's secret, but then the audio cuts off, and the movie ends abruptly, so it doesn't seem like that was that big of a deal. Anyways, what does this mean for Harley Quinn in the future? Well, in this movie, we know that Harley Quinn and the Joker broke up, but that doesn't mean they can't get back together again in a later movie. Maybe Black Mask dying will get Joker to reconsider his relationship with Harley Quinn, and they might even form a partnership now that Harley has her new company. In Birds of Prey, we only get one split-second scene of Joker during a flashback scene, and they didn't even show his face, so I'm pretty sure it wasn't Jared Leto. Perhaps he'll be recast in the future, because Joaquin Phoenix's Joker exists in a separate universe than the DCEU movies, and Jared Leto has been unhappy with Warner Brothers about the Joker role. Furthermore, we do know that Harley Quinn will appear in 2021's The Squad, which is written and directed by James Gunn. Moreover, another DCEU movie starring Harley Quinn, called Gotham City Sirens, is also in development. David Ayer, director of Squad, is supposed to return and direct that movie, and Geneva Robertson Dworet will be writing the script. It's been confirmed that the movie will feature Harley Quinn, Selena Kyle, Catwoman, and Pamela Isley, Poison Ivy. Unfortunately, I wouldn't really expect to see this movie anytime soon though, because David Ayer told /Film that the movie is being paused at the moment. So at the end of Birds of Prey, Renee Montoya did say that it's only a matter of time before another crime lord takes up his mantle and plays God in the city of Gotham. This definitely leaves room for a sequel, and in the comics, Renee Montoya becomes the superhero known as the Question. She took up this mantle after the events of the 2006 to 2007 miniseries 52. We'll most likely see Renee Montoya becoming the Question if a sequel does eventually happen. The Question's abilities include use of pseudoderm masks, genius level intelligence, master detective, skilled martial artist, hand-to-hand combatant, journalist, and practicing shaman. Additionally, in the comics, Cassandra Cain is one of the characters who assumes the role of Batgirl. Maybe we'll also see this in the sequel. There was originally going to be a solo Batgirl movie directed by Joss Whedon, but he left the project. What's next for the DCEU? Well, Wonder Woman 1984 is supposed to come out in June, and next year there will be the Batman in June, the Squad in August, and Black Adam in December. For the year 2022, Shazam 2 will come out in April, DC Super Pets will come out in May, The Flash will come out in July, and Aquaman 2 will come out in December. Well, that's it for this video. What did you think of Birds of Prey? Let me know your opinion in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a future upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Birds of Prey turned out to be a pretty decent movie. It was a lot of fun to watch. Unfortunately, the movie didn't really make a lot of money, so it's unlikely that a sequel will be be greenlit. Anything is possible though, and just in case a Birds of Prey sequel does occur, I do have a couple theories on what might happen. In this video, we'll take a look at 5 things that might happen in Birds of Prey 2. This video will contain spoilers for the first Birds of Prey movie, so make sure you watch that movie first before watching this video. Anyways, let's get started. Number 1. Cassandra Cain becomes Batgirl. Cassandra Cain was played by actress Ella J. Basco. She isn't just some random character. In the comics, Cassandra Cain is actually one of the characters who assumes the role of Batgirl. She first appeared in Batman number 567, which came out in July 1999. There's really not a lot of room left for Cassandra Cain in terms of character development, so they need to do something big with her character if they want audiences to care about her. If Cassandra Cain becomes Batgirl, then I'm sure this would get the audience excited about her. There was originally going to be a solo Batgirl movie directed by Joss Whedon, but he left the project. Maybe instead of focusing on a solo Batgirl movie, they'll just have Batgirl debut in the next Birds of Prey movie, then have a solo movie afterwards. Marvel has done this kind of thing several times before. For example, Black Panther was first introduced in Captain America: Civil War, then he got a solo movie several years later. The same thing happened to Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Therefore, Warner Brothers could follow a similar route. Number 2. Harley Quinn and the Joker get back together. In Birds of Prey, we find out that Harley Quinn and the Joker broke up, but that doesn't mean they can't just get back together again in a sequel. In the comics, Joker and Harley Quinn have broken up and gotten back together many times before. DC Comics certainly makes more money when Joker and Harley Quinn are together. The solo Joker movie that came out in 2019 made over $1 billion. And while that's not part of the DC Extended Universe, it does prove that audiences are definitely interested in the Joker character. Number 3. Oracle will join. In the comics, Oracle is the leader of the Birds of Prey. We didn't see Oracle in the first Birds of Prey movie, but it's very likely that she'll make an appearance in the sequel and join the Birds of Prey, now that Harley Quinn and Cassandra Cain aren't with the others anymore. Huntress, Black Canary, and Renee Montoya will definitely need more members to join their team. Oracle would be a great choice because she's a very popular comic book character, and she would fit the team quite well. She's a trained computer scientist and security hacker, so Oracle can prove to be very useful to the team. Number 4. Renee Montoya becomes the Question. Renee Montoya was played by actress Rosie Perez. She's also not just some random character. In the comics, Renee Montoya becomes the superhero known as the Question. If a Birds of Prey sequel does happen, we'll probably see Renee Montoya becoming the Question. The Question's abilities include use of pseudoderm masks, genius level intelligence, master detective, skilled martial artist, hand-to-hand combatant, journalist, and practicing shaman. Seems very interesting. I'd like to see this in a live-action format. Number 5. Poison Ivy will appear. Poison Ivy is another popular DC Comics character. After the New 52 reboot of the DC Comics, Poison Ivy was recruited to join the Birds of Prey. In several interviews, Margot Robbie has mentioned that she wants to see a reunion between Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy because they have such an incredible relationship. Margot Robbie was actually one of the producers of Birds of Prey, and she will most likely be a producer on Birds of Prey 2 as well, so she's in a position to add whoever she wants to the cast of the movie. Based on Margot Robbie's comments about Poison Ivy, there's a good chance Poison Ivy will appear in Birds of Prey 2. So yeah, as you can see, those are 5 things that might happen in Birds of Prey 2. What do you think about these theories? Do you agree with what I said? Why or why not? Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Do you have any theories of your own? If so, be sure to tell me. Also, what did you think of Birds of Prey? I personally thought it was pretty decent. It's certainly one of my favorite DCEU movies, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a future upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.